We now come to the 10-minute rule motion, import of dogs. Elliot Colburn.
Thank you, Mrs Deputy Speaker, and I beg to move that leave be given to bring in a bill to prohibit the import of puppies aged under 6 months, to prohibit the import of pregnant dogs in specified circumstances, and to prohibit the import of dogs with cropped ears or docked tails and for connected purposes. And may I begin by thanking the Charity Dogs Trust and the many charitable organisations who have done an amazing job at engaging with us as Members of Parliament over the years now, looking out for the lives of our four-legged friends. Because animal welfare is an issue that is felt very passionately by my constituents, and I'm sure the constituents of us all around the country. And I've had many constituents get in contact with me about the issue of cropped ears and puppy smuggling over a number of years now. And I can understand why there is such a strong feeling about this topic. And I have to declare an interest in moving this motion as an avid dog lover myself, and having seen firsthand the love and the comfort and sometimes even the hard work that a dog can bring to a house. And I am lucky enough to have two wonderful golden retrievers, Willow and Lola, and two Staffordshire Bull Terrier crosses, Snoopy and Jazz, who have been my constant companions for some time now, and I'm not alone in this regard. Indeed, figures suggest that out of the 28 million households in the UK, there are about 13 million dogs, which makes almost half of all households in the UK a dog-owning household. And our status as a nation of dog lovers was plain for all to see last week when these very corridors of power were filled with barking and numerous wet noses. And I am, of course, talking about the Westminster Dog of the Year Awards, where we had the chance to see our four-legged friends up close and in action as part of those awards. And I'd like to congratulate my honourable friend, the member for Mid Sussex, and TJ on their victory. Now, the 2019 Conservative Party manifesto outlined how the government would crack down on the illegal smuggling of dogs and puppies, and a commitment that was reconfirmed in the Animal Welfare Kept Animals Bill. And I understand that the government has been unable to progress with the bill for the sheer scale of a number of amendments and changes that were brought to that bill. So I am proud to be bringing this private member's bill to enact this manifesto commitment myself. And the scale of the problem cannot be underestimated. The relaxation of the pet travel scheme in 2012 has led to an exponential growth of illegal puppy smuggling into the country, with the Department for the Environment, Food and Rural Affairs estimating an increase of smuggled dogs before this relaxation of around 85,000 to 275,000 in 2016. This increase in illegal dogs has also caused an increase in the cases of zootonic diseases, including Brucella canis, and this is in itself a risk to public health, but also our country's biosecurity. The dog trusts have conducted 5 investigations over recent years which found that smugglers are using the pet travel scheme to cover up illegal activities in the UK. And the Animal Welfare Kept Animals Bill had previously sought to stop the illegal puppy trafficking by reducing the total number of animals allowed to travel into the UK within a year. It also sought to increase the minimum age of imported dogs, place restrictions on pregnant dogs, and puts a complete ban on mutilated dogs. And the original bill was designed to make provision about the welfare of certain kept animals that are imported to or exported from Great Britain. However, I know that there is still determination in this House to right the wrongs currently being perpetrated against animals, to close the loopholes that are available to smugglers and that they exploit, and to strengthen existing laws and legislation. And this private member's bill stands to do just that. And whilst I wish I had the time to acknowledge every member's contribution, I would particularly like to thank my honourable friend, the member for Mid Worcestershire, who has done incredible work leading up to this 10-minute rule motion, including holding his own Westminster Hall debate on puppy smuggling. The debate itself was centred around the same issues I am trying to make today. Back in 2019, when the debate was held, it gathered vast support from all sides of the House, and I hope that this bill will enjoy that same cross-party support. I know that the British public certainly support this bill. 65,000 have previously written in favour of its contents previously, and a recent study by the Dogs Trust found that 83% of all respondents felt that the government should fulfil our manifesto commitment to crack down on puppy smuggling. In the last year alone, Mr Deputy Speaker, 485 puppies were found to be smuggled into the country, as well as 110 pregnant dogs. This transformation can have huge effects on a dog's mental, emotional and physical health, causing lasting trauma and health issues, and that is if the dog survives the journey at all. All of which can go on to cost many unsuspecting dog owners greatly, both financially and emotionally, as they seek to rectify such issues. Because dogs do bring joy to our homes, but we need to make sure that we are not putting traumatised dogs into people's houses. And to illustrate the horrible journey that some of these dogs have had to endure, I will briefly outline the story of Waffle and her 9 siblings. They were crammed into shoe boxes and tied up for the almost 20-plus hour journey and a 1,000-mile trip from Slovakia. They had no food, no rest, and very little water. The puppies were severely underweight and infested with worms when they were found. And at 8 weeks, they were barely half the current legal travel age of 15 weeks. Waffle and her siblings were luckily rescued by the Dogs Trust and now all being taken care of and rehomed with loving families. However, sadly, more often than not, puppies don't have such a lucky outcome. This bill would seek to put an end to such tragic stories and improve the lives of these dogs and their owners. It would seek to stop the premature importing of puppies and spare them the often traumatic journeys at such incredibly formative points in their lives. It would also go further in helping to disincentivise people from transporting pregnant dogs, as well as hopefully putting a stop to the importation of mutilated dogs, sending a strong signal to stop the inhumane practice of cropping ears and docking tails, although I do completely recognise that the docking of tails is sometimes necessary in certain medical circumstances. Dogs, after all, Mr. Deputy Speaker, have been mankind's companion for millennia. 15,000 years, to be precise, to the Bonn Oberkassel dog discovered buried alongside 2 humans in Germany, believed to be the oldest example of the relationship between man and dog. Then there were the hunting dogs of the Paleolithic era and the Siberian sled dogs of 9000 BC, right through to the pets adorning medieval paintings, and even more recently, the brave 4-legged search and rescue team members. Dogs have protected us, helped us, and provided companionship, and even sought out lost friends and family. And now is our chance to repay that companionship and that assistance by protecting them. And this is what this bill does. Therefore, to conclude, Mr. Deputy Speaker, this bill sets out to right the wrongs currently being perpetrated, to close the loopholes that smugglers continue to exploit, and to strengthen the laws and existing legislation so that we can continue to give love to our 4-legged friends.
Thank you very much. This will be the opportunity for anyone to speak against the 10-minute rule motion. I've not been notified that anybody wants to do so. I'd be amazed if they did. And I see nobody, so I'm going to pose the question. The question is that the honourable member have leave to bring in the bill. Let's make that up and say aye. Aye. No, I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Who will prepare and bring in the bill?
Nick Fletcher, Caroline Noakes, Selene Saxby, Aaron Bell, Matt Vickers, Dr. Neil Hudson, Sir Robert Buckland, Kat Smith, Patricia Gibson, Sarah Jampion, John McDonnell, and myself, Mr. Deputy Speaker.
Elliot Colburn.
Import of dogs bill.
Second reading what day?
Friday the 24th of November.
Friday the 24th of November. Thank you very much.